I'm sorry. That was acting. That's what that was. I don't really care what happens with this movie. I really hope her career is pretty much over. I'd be thrilled to see that. I can't imagine. I mean, Christian.
Joe Rogan sat back in his studio, shook his head, and laughed in disbelief. It's almost like Bella Ramsey thought she was untouchable, he said. Like she really believed fans would just swallow anything she threw at them because she had the lead role in one of the biggest shows of the decade. The tone in his voice was part frustration, part amusement, and fully serious. Rogan had seen actors sabotage themselves before, but the Bella Ramsey situation felt different. It was a slow motion collapse fueled not by one mistake, but by a pattern of decisions that showed just how far removed she had become from the fan base that made her famous.
Ellie still looks and acts like a 14-year-old from season 1, even though she's supposed to be 19.
Joe didn't mince words. There's a certain kind of arrogance that only kicks in when someone thinks they've made it, he said. Bella was on top of the world after season 1. She had the media behind her, the studio hyping her up, and fans cautiously optimistic. But then she took all that goodwill and set it on fire. According to Joe, the moment she started giving interviews where she called game fans outdated and pushed for ideological rewrites to her character, the whole thing was doomed. He remembered watching early press tours for season 1. Bella was polite, humble, and clearly excited. But by the time season 2 rolled around, something had shifted. She started talking like she owned the franchise, Joe said. Like she wasn't just playing Ellie, she was redefining her. And look, I get that every actor brings something to a role, but there's a big difference between acting and rewriting. Bella crossed that line hard.
We just had to not like each other for a bit.
You had to not like me, which came easy.
So
Then came the moment that sealed the deal. South Park, the animated show known for pulling no punches, aired a parody episode that zeroed in on Bella's portrayal. In it, her cartoon version lectured zombies about environmental justice and refused to use weapons because, like, violence was a construct. It was brutal, and Joe couldn't stop laughing. They didn't even need to exaggerate, he said. They just slightly tilted what she was already saying. That's what made it sting so much. The episode went viral instantly. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Clips flooded every corner of the internet. Side-by-side comparisons between Bella's real interviews and the parody were shockingly similar. It was like watching someone do your impression better than you, Joe said, and the internet ate it up. People weren't laughing with Bella, they were laughing at her. And what made it worse? She took the bait.
Joel, I think I found something.
Whoa!
What?
No, nothing. It's just your forehead seems bigger than last season.
I think I found a way.
Yes, maybe we can prop it open with something and you can slide.
Whoa! Oh my god, what?
Is it getting bigger?
Stop it.
No, seriously, what's with that?
It's fine, Joel.
Does it hurt?
Joel, please, you're making me self-conscious.
I'm sorry, it's just a little bit startling.
Normal head, Joel. Can we just get back to the door things?
It's planetary.
Leave it.
It's gonna have its own area code soon.
Like most people, I liked the first season. I thought they did a great job. Season 2, I was skeptical on them not recasting Ellie and keeping Bella Ramsey as Ellie because it's supposed to take place 5 years into the future, but obviously Bella Ramsey in real life was not going to age that much in, the 2 years it took between seasons. So in the show, Ellie still looks exactly the same, but is supposed to be 5 years older. Also, Ellie still acts exactly the same. For some reason, they made the decision for The Last of Us Season 2 to make Ellie dumb, to the point where she even says that she's stupid. Why? That just kind of betrays the character.
Change up your impression at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the noise is the same. I've not got any more noises in my back pocket. The new infected are pretty terrifying. They're so smart, and they haven't really got a noise. That's the whole point of them, is they're silent and terrifying.
Ooh, give us a little silent and terrifying.
Instead of ignoring it or laughing it off, Bella responded emotionally. She went live on Instagram late at night, visibly upset, rambling about how the parody was an attack on her identity and how the network had abandoned her. It wasn't a comeback, Joe said. It was a collapse. Crying into your phone and blaming everyone else is not a good look. Clips from the live stream exploded online with her teary quotes edited into memes and remix videos within hours. One of the most shared clips featured her saying, "I gave everything to this role and now I'm mocked like it meant nothing." Joe paused and said, "That's the thing. When you make the role about yourself instead of the character, people notice." And when they turn on you, they're not mocking your performance. They're reacting to how disconnected you became from the story they loved. Meanwhile, HBO said nothing. No statement, no defense, no reassurance. That silence was louder than anything else, Joe said. They knew the storm was coming, and they weren't about to stick their necks out for someone who was now seen as a liability. It later came out the tensions behind the scenes had been growing for months. Bella had reportedly argued with writers, pushed for changes in scripts, and even tried to control the direction of other characters' arcs. That's not collaboration, Joe said. That's taking over, and studios don't like being taken over. As the fan base turned, so did the industry. Bella was quietly removed from upcoming promotional campaigns. Her name vanished from press materials. And just like that, the actress who was once on every billboard became invisible. That's Hollywood's version of exile, Joe said. They don't call you out, they just stop calling you. No new casting announcements, no award nominations, no magazine covers. It was like someone had flipped a switch and shut her entire career down. Joe dug deeper into the impact this had on The Last of Us as a brand. When one actor goes off the rails, it affects everyone, he said. Writers lose their momentum, directors get frustrated, marketing plans fall apart, and most importantly, the audience walks away. He pointed out that the show's future was now uncertain, with season 3 quietly shelved and fan enthusiasm at an all-time low. Even longtime supporters of the show started distancing themselves. Cosplayers stopped dressing as Bella's version of Ellie, fan pages were deleted or rebranded, message boards banned discussions about her to avoid heated arguments. She became the center of a cultural war she started herself, Joe said, and now nobody wants to be associated with it. He brought up Pedro Pascal, her co-star, who had previously sung her praises. Rumors began circulating that even he had grown frustrated, especially after being left to handle awkward interview questions and backlash on press tours. It's telling when someone like Pedro starts backing away, Joe noted. That guy's been in the industry a long time. If he saw the writing on the wall, you better believe HBO did too. Joe wasn't trying to be cruel. He was trying to be honest. People need to understand that fame doesn't come with a free pass, he said. You still have to respect the craft, respect the fans, and know when to listen instead of preach. Bella, in his view, had lost that understanding. She thought the platform gave her the right to reshape a franchise, but what it really gave her was a responsibility she wasn't ready to carry. He wrapped up with a hard truth. Bella Ramsey is a case study in how not to handle success. She let the spotlight blind her, mistook influence for authority, and turned a beloved character into a lecture series. And when it all came crashing down, she didn't own it. She blamed the fans, the show, the network, anyone but herself. As the podcast ended, Joe leaned back in his chair and said what everyone else was thinking. She had everything, and she lost it. Not because of bad luck, not because of internet trolls, but because she forgot what made her great in the first place. Being Ellie, not becoming the story. What happened after Bella's fall from grace was almost as surreal as the collapse itself. The internet, once captivated by her bold approach to the Ellie role, turned its attention to what came next, and the silence was deafening. Weeks passed, no apology, no clarification, no media tour to regain footing, just silence. Bella Ramsey, who once trended for every comment, meme, or fan clip, now trended for her absence. Her official account stayed quiet, and when she finally posted again weeks later, it was a vague quote about growth through fire, but by then it was too late. The audience had already moved on. Joe Rogan couldn't help but notice how fast the entertainment world forgot her. It's like she got wiped off the board, he said. No late night show invites, no podcast interviews, not even the usual damage control circuit. That's when you know someone's been shelved. You don't get a big announcement when the machine's done with you. They just stop returning your calls. According to Rogan, that kind of silence from Hollywood doesn't happen by accident. It's calculated. It means the studios decided it's not worth the risk, he said. They don't want more headlines, they want this buried. Meanwhile, other celebrities began subtly distancing themselves. A few unfollowed her on social media. A couple of co-stars politely dodged questions about her in press junkets. No one said anything directly, but the shift was clear. The entertainment industry runs on perception, and once someone's seen as toxic, even people who once worked alongside them start backing away to avoid being caught in the fallout. Joe said it best. No one wants to be the last person standing next to a sinking ship. Even more revealing was the change in tone from the press. Major entertainment outlets that once praised Bella as a trailblazer began using past tense. Bella Ramsey was the face of a new era, one article wrote. Her take on Ellie once brought a fresh edge to the role. Rogan pointed out how subtle word choices say everything. That's the media's way of writing your obituary without actually saying you're done, he said. They're putting a period at the end of your headline. And while Hollywood distanced itself, the fan base that once split over Bella's performance seemed to reach a new consensus. They were done defending her. The emotional pleas, the justifications, the hashtags, they faded. Fan edits stopped circulating. Petitions were abandoned. Even her most devoted supporters seemed to hit a wall. People can only argue for you so long before they realize you're not coming back, Joe said. And Bella never tried to rebuild the bridge. She just vanished behind the smoke. Behind the scenes, rumors swirled that Bella's agency was struggling to find her new roles. Offers had dried up. Casting directors were hesitant. Even independent films, usually a soft landing for actors in transition, were reportedly backing out. The word inside the industry was that she had become unmanageable, a label no one wants. Joe shook his head. That's the kind of tag that sticks. Once people think you're difficult to work with, the doors close fast. And if you add controversy on top of that, it's game over. At one point, a leaked report from an industry tracking firm showed Bella's Q score, a measure of a celebrity's public appeal, had dropped by nearly 70% over the span of 3 months. That's not a dip, that's a nosedive, Joe said. People weren't just neutral, they were actively turned off. He explained that casting decisions are often based on audience favorability. If your name doesn't move numbers, you don't move scripts. And Bella's numbers weren't moving anything anymore. The real twist, though, came when fans started speculating who might replace her if The Last of Us ever returned. Names were floated, edits were made with other actresses superimposed into key scenes. And that's when it hit Joe. Yet they weren't mourning her exit, they were planning it. It wasn't just about moving on, it was about erasing her version of Ellie from the cultural memory of the franchise. When fans start rebuilding the character without you, that's when your legacy is over, he said. The worst part, Bella had chances to recover. According to insiders, HBO allegedly offered her a closed-door meeting to address the controversy before it spiraled. She declined. She was reportedly given a chance to do a controlled interview with a major outlet to clarify her stance. She refused. And when South Park aired, multiple PR professionals recommended she respond with humor or humility. Instead, she chose a tear-filled live stream. Every opportunity to steer the ship back, Joe said, "Oh my, she turn them all down." At one point, Rogan's guest asked what Bella could have done differently. Joe didn't hesitate. First of all, respect the fan base. That's your foundation. Second, don't rewrite a character that people already love. Add your touch, sure, but don't demolish what made them iconic. Third, when the backlash comes, don't collapse. Stand tall, own it, and move forward. He paused and added, and above all, don't make yourself the center of the story when you were hired to tell someone else's. As the episode neared its end, Rogan reflected on the bigger picture. There's this belief that fame protects you, he said, that once you've made it, people will always have your back. But that's not how it works anymore. The audience is smarter, they care more, and if you treat them like they're beneath you, they will absolutely let you know. Bella Ramsey, in Joe's eyes, had made the mistake of believing the spotlight was hers to control. But in reality, the audience holds the switch. And once they flip it off, getting it back on isn't just hard, it's nearly impossible.